Getting a console is actually a great choice right now. You can spend $400 and get next-gen games with amazing graphics, so it's really hard to compete when buying a gaming PC. But what if I told you that you can get a PC build for around the same price that is going to perform even better? I'm going to talk about the console killer PC builds. There are 3 different gaming PC builds that I will show you today, where I believe they are a better option than a console, except for 4K. And don't worry, I will explain everything in terms of beginners, so if you don't know anything about computers or hardware in general, it's all good because I will explain to you what these PCs are capable of running. You will have the links to all of these PC builds and consoles as well down below in the video description. So first we are going to talk about the pricing for these consoles. The PS5 Digital Edition is $400, so it's going to be really hard to compete with that price. That being said, the PC builds are a bit more expensive than this. However, the Xbox Series X is out of stock everywhere, and the only one that I found in stock on Best Buy, it's $560 because it comes with a brand new game. So just so you know, the PC builds are going to be more expensive than the PS5, but around the same price of the Xbox Series X. That being said, let's start. So the first PC build and the cheapest one on the list, we have one with the i3 12100F and the RX 5700 XT from the used market. This is a graphics card that is amazing for 1080p and even 1440p gaming. You also get a terabyte of SSD just like you get on Xbox, and you're going to pay less money. The total price for this system is $515, so cheaper than the Xbox Series X and more expensive than the PS5, of course. You also get a nice looking case, 16 gigs of RAM, and a motherboard with enough features for gaming in the Gigabyte B660M DS3H. Don't worry about the motherboard. If you're a beginner, you will not understand this type of stuff, but it's just a solid motherboard for the price. So the processor, the i3 12100F with the GPU combined, the RX 5700 XT from the used market, is going to be an amazing combo for 1080p and 1440p gaming. If you want to buy a 4K monitor or 4K TV, then I do recommend you going with console instead of PC. But if you're going for a 1440p or 1080p monitor, I recommend you buying this PC instead. And the reason being is because you're going to get much higher FPS since they are not capped. You can also tweak the settings in every single game, which you can't on the PS5 or Xbox. And also you are getting a PC, so you're getting a ton of features that you don't get on a PS5 or Xbox. It's also much easier to navigate through the web. I think a gaming PC is the best choice for everyone. However, like I said before, if you're planning on playing at 4K, the PS5 and Xbox Series X have a huge advantage over the PCs at this price point. And yes, you can play every single game at 1080p without any issues with this cheap gaming desktop. You can also play at 1440p. It's not going to be the flashiest experience, but you're going to get higher FPS than the PS5 still. Now, if you have a bit of extra money, you can get the RX 6600 XT on the used market as well for around $200. This is a better GPU and you will achieve higher FPS, especially at 1440p gaming. And the price for the total system would be $575, so only around $10 extra from the Xbox Series X. And the 6600 XT is really capable of 1440p gaming, also capable of high FPS at 1080p, and even at 4K you will be achieving really similar performance to the Xbox Series X and the PS5, around 60 FPS ish for most titles. Now this is going to depend on the graphics settings as well, so I do recommend you searching the benchmarks for 4K resolution with the RX 6600 XT and the i3 12100F on your favorite game for you to see exactly if a console would be a better choice for you or a PC in terms of FPS. But for 1440p and 1080p, there's no doubt it's a no-brainer. The PC is going to be a better choice. Now, what if you don't want to buy from the used market? You want a brand new GPU because maybe you don't want to risk buying from eBay. That's completely understandable. I understand you. Then you're going to have to pay a premium and the total price will be $655. So you will be around $100 over the $550 mark from the Xbox Series X and $250 more over the PS5. However, I highly recommend you spending this extra, especially if you don't want to buy from the used market, and get the RX 6650 XT for the GPU. All of the other components remain the same. The performance is going to be really similar to the last one with the RX 6600 XT, so you will be achieving much higher FPS than a PS5 or Xbox Series X because of the FPS cap that I mentioned before. And for competitive titles such as Fortnite, Valorant, and this type of games, PC builds are much better than consoles since you can achieve higher FPS and tweak with every graphic setting. So my conclusion is for you to buy a console if you want to play at 4K gaming and you don't want to spend more than $500. However, if you're going to play at 1440p or 1080p, I would highly recommend you buying a PC build and spending the extra if necessary, because at the end you're not only getting better performance for gaming, but you're also getting a system, so everything is going to be easier for you, especially if you also want to work on your PC, or let's say you're a student. This is a much better option overall than a console. However, consoles is still great for the price, and it took me a while to find PC builds that are actually competing with consoles. That being said, if you have a different budget, let's say you have $1,000 or even more, I highly recommend you clicking the top link in the description where you answer a couple questions and I will give you the perfect PC build personally. That way it's more personal for everyone. And if you want a Prebuilt PC instead because you don't want to build it yourself, I recommend you watching the best Prebuilt PCs of the month. You will have that video in the top right of the screen where you also have more budgets in there. So if you have more money and you don't want to build it yourself, then I highly recommend you checking that video. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for the support, and I will see you on the next one.